Welcome to Great Talking Entertainment. I'm your host, KJ, and this is the YouTube channel where I review movies and TV shows from all your favorite superheroes, including Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and much more. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Now let's go, baby. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, everyone. My name is KJ, and as I continue on to review the new Netflix series, Bet. This is episode 3 spoiler review. If you have not seen this amazing show, please check it out. But before you do that, if you haven't seen it, just in case, please pause this, hit that thumbs up button, because that would help my YouTube channel grow. And again, definitely check this show out. It's really good. And I would love to hear your guys' opinions about this series and this particular episode in the comments below. So again, this is a spoiler review. Y'all been warned. Now, let's get into it. This episode starts off with a flashback of Yumiko is boxing as her guardian angel is giving her a pep talk, and this is kind of like the part of they don't really explain so far yet about this parent guardian of hers. Like, it seems like she existed and she was probably living with Yumiko and her parents, so this could be her grandma on each side, or like a maid or a housekeeper of some sort. But she knows how to fight. She obviously takes the death of Yumiko's parents very personal as well. In every aspect you can imagine. And this shows, like, there's a big plan, and it seems like this woman who is the guardian of Yumiko at this point, it just seems like maybe she planned this. She's the one who's trying to get Yumiko to do the thing she's going to do, is get revenge for her parents. What I like about this scene is it had the old Japanese feeling, like a Bruce Lee or some other 80s or 70s Japanese karate film. And, it was like not like a black and white, but it had that old footage that films used to have before they were 4K, right? And I like that. And I thought it was pretty cool. And then in the next scene, we see Yumiko and the rest of the characters, or her friends so far, and they're wondering what they're going to bet on next and what is the game, as they see everybody in this school is still mourning over Suki's death. And we see a lot of side bets as how he died, and then, of course, the conspiracy theory bet. And Kira sees Yumiko as a threat and definitely wants to defeat her. So she has all the student councils go to the library, since Dory has figured out that Yumiko hasn't been gambling for a while, and she's been in the library with Michael, as we know in this episode and other previous of this series, is that Dory actually likes Michael, or is very obsessed with him. And so it's very interested to see where that goes. And then that's why they go to the library and take all the books. And then we get to the scene where Yumiko visits Dory as she asks to return him. But, of course, the show's called Bet, so they gotta play a game, and they're betting on the books, and they're betting on cash, coins, and of course being a house pet. So Dory's gonna do this, and Dory doesn't want to play card games. She doesn't want to play blackjack. She doesn't want to play any type of card game. She just wants to play a extreme physical action game. And we learn that she wants to have a dance-off battle on a classic arcade dancing game, as you would see at your local arcade, whether you're at the mall or maybe at a Dave & Buster's of some sort. But you know, it's where you're in the arcade, you're in a little square box, and you use your feet to hit the shapes of what lights up to do the song. Kind of like Guitar Hero, but dancing with your feet, of course. So we see this, and of course, Dory wins because Yumiko's not used to this. She's new to it, and she backs down, but she's gonna dust herself off, and of course, she loses 60 grand, so that's a lot, and or 1,000 maybe, but she lost a lot of money, and she has to come back and get a rematch at some point. And what's really interesting too is I want to put out there that Dory kind of has a thing for Yumiko, but it also seems Yumiko has a thing for Dory because after we had a nice romantic moment between Ryan and Yumiko as Ryan offered Yumiko to learn how to dance as he did, and as they came back for a rematch, Dory wasn't want to do that. She's like she's bored, so she challenged her to a duel as we see Dory with two swords, but Yumiko decides to use Ryan's school tie, and the winner wins by making their opponent draw blood first. And of course, Yumiko wins and gets her to have a little nosebleed. So we see that, and you know what's really interesting about that is Dory shows in this anime that she's looking for like more of a friends. Maybe she's looking for attention. Maybe she wants to feel normal. Now the way Dory is kind of portrayed in the anime series, it's a little bit more extreme, it's a little bit more darker, and the anime show really focuses on her just being kind of crazy. But you know, they have the anime backstory of Dory is much different, and the reasons why are much different. But of course, they in this one, she seems like she when she likes somebody, she becomes obsessed. She becomes a stalker. She plants cameras in their dorm rooms, but she's too afraid, or she comes on too strong, as she did to Michael in this episode of Well. But you know, we know that she only did that to steal these codes because even though that Yumiko won, Kira stole Michael's idea and made all the side bettings count. So now that gives everybody a better chance to go up in rank, and that's probably a good thing for Mary. And you know, we also hear rumors too in this show that there's a rumor that Ryan lost his mind and he murdered his own dad. But that was an interesting thing too about that, because why I want to bring that up too is look at Dory in this. She becomes more obsessive with it, and we see like Ryan in this show who's trying to be more brave, be more confident, while Dory seems to uh, indicate through scenes like she was beating up this like punching bag dummy doll, and you know, I think she's emotionally hurt as Ryan is, and it's really interesting about these two in this episode is Yumiko is kind of like becoming center of attention in their life. Like these two characters are obsessed with her. One, and in a way, not one, but in a way, they both are romantically attracted to Yumiko. And again, Dory in the anime that she's based off of, and it's a few characters too as well, is that again this show focuses more on her having a obsession and maybe some trauma that she may be dealing with, and Dory doesn't know how to show a softer side, while Ryan doesn't know how to be confident, strong, and very outgoing in a way. But Dory's the opposite of Ryan in that. Like, she makes her presence known. She says what she says, and she's not afraid of anything, and she's willing to do anything to get what she wants, and she does not care. Like, she stands on her own business, while Ryan kind of struggles. So that's what I liked about that episode too, is we kind of see that between the two is like a parallel, just the opposite of whatever it is, but it seems so similar in a way too. So with Ryan, he has a dark past, but we know Dory has a dark past. And with that one, they haven't really explained why she has the eye patch yet. But in the anime, it's she's done it. This character has done this in the anime to her own self for a thrill ride to impress Kira. Now, it seems a little bit different in the Bet show on Netflix, so I thought that was pretty interesting. But this one, I feel like Dory, this character here on this show, doesn't really live up to the anime version of it, and it doesn't feel like an anime thing with Dory in this show. But it's not a big deal because, again, the anime does show in this show a lot, the feel of it. They really do resemble it in a way. They really add those Easter eggs that remind you of the anime series of this. But when it comes to Dory, it's not really hitting right. It just feels like a non-anime way to present this character. But it's not a bad thing, I guess. Again, it's good for this show. It's good the way they wrote it, and it's good for the plot of this episode, and of course, just the main plot of season 1 of this show. So it does make sense, and it's not a really big complaint, but this one, I would say, for Dory, they really didn't stick to her anime traits, I would say, of the show. But not a big deal. Same with Ryan. Ryan, this character has a mixture of resemblance from other male characters from this anime show. And again, that's always been its thing. And then we also get a scene where Yumiko looks up one of the old yearbooks, and there's a name called Raymond Rowe, which is Raymond and then Rowe, and obviously he is the father of Blake, but it seems Yumiko realizes, like, oh snap, like, she was just in shock that Blake's father is this Raymond guy. And then at the end of this episode, Yumiko slices Blake's father in the throat with the scissors, and that's how this episode ends. Now, I don't know how to take this, but I was really shocked. They really left this one on a cliffhanger. And this one, wow, this one to me for this scene went pretty dark and gritty with it. I thought the ending was pretty clever. And things turn. Now, the anime show that you can watch that's available now on Netflix, Tibet, nobody really see a lot of like a killing like that or a murder like that. So this one took a whole new turn, and in a way, this kind of like this has felt like a Riverdale type episode. The way they played this out, because she just grabbed the scissors and sliced the dude. Like, it was just nuts. It was shocking. I didn't think that they were going to go that route with it. I thought we wouldn't even see the dad yet that early. Now, here's the things that I did like about this episode. I like the creativity to this. I like that they're building up a mysterious secret that's going on. But I'm also like the idea of what they're going with Dory. And I know earlier I just mentioned that the way they present Dory in this show, it's nothing like to the character that she's based off of from the anime series. And again, it's not a big deal because again, that part, her scenes never felt like anime like. But what I did like about this character is there is another side of her that they're kind of like teasing a little bit. Maybe we could see a softer side of Dory. Maybe she's not going to be this tough yet, throughout the whole season. Maybe we'll get a glimpse of a softer side of her, and I think that'd be cool. And I also like the comedy when it comes to her from this character. I think there was moments where it was pretty funny. It was a good joke to it, and I like that you don't need to take this character very serious. Now, let me talk about the things I didn't like about Dory in this version of On Bet. Is they don't make her seem like psycho killer crazy. They kind of just make her like, the big muscle meat. Like she's not very logical. She's not very bright. They kind of dumb her down a little bit. Because in the anime, she's much creative, much smarter, and she's much risk-taking. I think the little arcade game, dancing game, Japanese game that they played was cool if you're, if you're somebody like me, like, and you remember those old school games like that. Yeah. As far as like her using two swords and Yumiko using Ryan's school tie in a fight, did they just really downplayed it so much? Like, didn't make it dangerous, didn't show like, like Dory's really crazy and like she would like stab her, not just cut her but just stab her, and we didn't get that with her. And I thought that was kind of like a downgraded thing to this character, because the one thing I did like about the anime was this character that Dory is based off. And I just feel like they missed an opportunity to go that right. The route they're really going with is just to make her do the way she act is just a show, just a front, because she's hiding her actual feelings, and she's actually sad, and she just needs a real friend to talk to. But in the anime version of this show, she's just much darker. She's much crazier, like the Joker, or a super crazy villain, right? That's what I get out of in the anime version of this. But this one, they just downplayed her, and she's kind of ditzy. And I think that's such a shame with that character, that you could have gone a different way with it. But that's the only thing I didn't like about the show of this episode. But again, it's still a really great episode, and I still like the fact that they main focus on Yumiko, and they only focus on the side stories that really stick to Yumiko. They're not making another side quest story, because it seems like nobody else in this show is going to get any type of spin-off from the way they present this. So, again, I like that part of this episode is, again, they're focusing on Yumiko and Yumiko only. And, again, the ending was really crazy and mind-blowing. So, that was really good. So, if I had to give this a 1 out of 10, I definitely gave it a 6. Really good episode. Again, I just felt they really downplayed Dory in this, and I feel like they missed a great opportunity. But maybe they'll switch it up in the next episodes after this. But I think, like, man, they should have just went the crazy psycho route just to stick to the anime. I think that would have been a cooler story to see. But that's just my opinion on that. But thank you guys so much for listening to my review. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Subscribe, hit that notification button so you can always be updated with all my latest content. Thank you guys, and peace